Hey guys, how has your weekend been? Was it a good weekend? Did you stay on plan? Did you do your 24-hour plans? I wanted to jump on here and just do a quick bonus live with you guys today because we've been chatting in the group over the last week, and one of the concerns that was coming up was all the brain chatter that happens when family or boyfriends' families or friends, they're pressuring you to eat off of your plan. They start giving voice to all of those thoughts you have in your head. You know, the thoughts that are like, just one won't hurt, you're always on a diet, you don't need to lose weight, all of those thoughts. And I'm gonna tell you the two reasons why this, kind of what's going on, so that you can understand it and make it a little easier. And then something to say that I've never had somebody have trouble saying no and having the other person not pressure them to continue eating. So this is a really short broadcast. Hopefully I'm going to jump into it right quick. So here's something, a food for thought that I want you to consider. So we know the concept that you are responsible for how you feel, right? And nobody can make you feel any way without your permission or without you choosing to feel so. So I want you to think about this. When we're in a situation in which we are being offered food which is not on our plan, and I'm going to give you a good example. So my fiance, his family is Filipino, and they are amazing. However, the Filipino culture is all about, you come to my house, we feed you, and then when you're done that, we'll feed you more, and then when you're done that, we'll make sure we feed you even more. And it is all about food, it is all about sweets and savory things and pastas and rices and, oh, have this candy and I have this ice cream in the fridge, and it's constant and nonstop. And when we first started dating and I had to go over there, I always felt so uncomfortable with being offered candy or pizza, and even if I had just eaten. And I used to feel uncomfortable. I used to feel like, oh, what if she thinks that if I turn down her food, that I'm a bad person? What if I don't eat the ice cream they're giving me? What will they think of me? Will they think I'm rude? And I feel uncomfortable in that moment. So here's something fascinating that I learned. That feeling of discomfort is so intolerable in that moment that I choose to eat. So when we break it down that simple, we know that accepting the pizza, accepting the ice cream makes that feeling of discomfort go away. So what that says to our brain is, I can't handle being uncomfortable. This eating will make that stop. And I've had clients say to me this all the time. Oh, we were out and they had ice cream cake for dessert, and I felt really awkward sitting there being the only person that wasn't eating it. And so I ate it. I said, so wait, that feeling of discomfort was so intolerable, it was so bad, it was just the end of the world, that the only thing that you could do was eat the cake. She's like, well, no, I mean, it wasn't that bad. I said, and what might have happened if instead of eating the cake because you couldn't handle feeling uncomfortable, what might have happened if instead you were like, all right, I'm just going to be uncomfortable. What happens if you were uncomfortable for just 10 minutes? I said, what would happen? And she's like, oh, I was like, no, I want an answer. What would happen? And she goes, well, they would have finished dessert. I said, and then what? And she goes, and then it would have been over. I said, and then what? She goes, and then I would have felt better about myself. I said, so if you were to instead have sat through that 10 minutes of discomfort where you're just not feeling amazing because you really want to eat the cake, but it's not aligning with your goals, so you're making a decision and you're uncomfortable. I said, sitting through that feeling for 10 minutes moves you towards your goals. I said, what is so bad about that? She's like, oh my gosh. So I want you to think about that, is when you are choosing to give in because somebody asks you to eat something, it is only serving you, not them. It is serving you, because what we are not getting good at is dealing with being uncomfortable. What is so bad, what is so intolerable about feeling uncomfortable for the 10 minutes everyone else is eating dessert and then it's over? What is so uncomfortable about having the nachos on the table and then they're gone? What is so bad about that? I really want you to ask yourself that, because that's the decision our brain makes. Our brain says, life or death, this is it. We need to not feel uncomfortable right now, so you need to eat that right now. Eat it right now. Eat it right now. And that's literally what our brain is going through, and it works us up, and we get all freaked out about it. So we think that our only choice is to eat because this is intolerable. It's not intolerable. You are stronger than that. So I want you to be aware of that next time. Are you escaping feeling awkward, uncomfortable, guilty, and eating instead? Number one. Number two thing I hear all the time is this, and this was literally, I'm going to pull this out of my brain for you because this is what I experienced. If Flynn's mom gives me pizza, gives me chocolates, whatever it is that's on the table that day, and I say no, she's going to feel bad. Or I hear this one from all my clients. My mom only makes this once a year, and she put all this effort into making it for me, and if I don't eat it, I don't want her to feel bad. I hear that all the time. That you don't want somebody to feel bad because you didn't eat what they made. Well, here's the thing. Hear me loud and clear. You cannot make anybody feel anything. Understand that. The same way right now, I cannot make you feel anything. I am just saying sentences here. It is your perception of what I'm saying, whether you choose to make it mean something motivated or discouraging, or you disagree with me, whatever it might be. You're having to think about it in that way, which is making you feel that way. I can't make you feel anything. The same way, if somebody came up to me and said, your hair is ugly, I'd have to think, my hair is ugly, I'm a bad person, I don't like the way I look, to feel bad about it. Same thing here. You saying no to something someone has offered you does not make them feel bad. You saying no is a neutral circumstance. In order for them to feel bad about it, they're going to have to think something that makes them feel lousy. And here's the thing. In theory, we'd all like to make everyone feel amazing, but you cannot be responsible for everyone else's feelings. You first need to be responsible for your own. So if you are eating as a way to not feel uncomfortable in a social situation, we need to focus on that first, because you're not even taking care of your own feelings, yet here we are spending so much time worrying about how someone else is feeling as a result of what you've said. You have no control over how they feel about your response when they offer you food. None at all, okay? My principle is you deliver it in a kind way, you deliver it well-mannered, you have good intentions, and you're honest. No thank you, I don't want to eat that right now. Oh no thanks, that's not on my plan. You're not responsible whether they're fine with it, whether they're angry, whether they're happy, whether they're hurt. You can't be responsible for that. So we need to lay down that sword, okay? We need to stop thinking that's our responsibility to make everyone around us feel good. It's not. It's our responsibility to make us feel good. It's their responsibility to make them feel good. We need to, in a loving way, take care of us first while still being kind in our delivery. Okay, I'm going to tell you what to say if you really, because I've also been there where you have the kind delivery. No, thank you, I don't want that right now. No, thank you, that's not on my plan. And you're dealing with the discomfort and you're just feeling so awkward because everyone is eating and they're looking at you. They might even make this comment. I've had this comment. Oh, is it not on your diet? Is that not on your diet plan? I am the first to say that, hey, that's not a really nice thing to say. I wouldn't say that to anybody else because it's judgment, but here's the thing. I can hear that and think, oh, that's an interesting opinion. That's one of my favorite things to think. That's an interesting opinion. Move on. Or I could sit there and be like, they're judging me. Now I feel even more awkward. This is terrible. I don't want to feel like this. This is where we like to go. How about instead choose, that's an interesting opinion. I'm not responsible for your feelings. I was kind in my delivery. I'm going to sit right here and be uncomfortable until this passes because I got big goals. I got big goals. All right? Okay. So we've checked all those boxes. We know we understand those concepts. Yes? So here's what I'm going to give you. This is the last resort solution of what to say to someone if they will not leave you alone. And I've never had this not work. Are you ready for this? So I had a client just last night. I was on a call with her and she's like, oh, my mom made spaghetti and she only said she hasn't made it in a year and I felt bad. I said, what if you had said this to her? I'm working on getting healthier right now and I found that when I eat that, I end up in the washroom for a couple hours after. I'm not going to eat that. Do you think someone is really going to sit there and be like, it puts you in the washroom for 3 hours? Oh my God, have some more. This doesn't happen. It really doesn't happen. And I find that if all else fails, if I'm kind in my delivery, if I'm sitting there in discomfort, if I'm okay with not being responsible for how they're receiving what I'm saying and they're still pushing, that fixes it every single time. I know, it's a good one. I laugh all the time too. It's so simple. Just be like, oh, you know what? I would love to, but I'm working on my health right now, and I've recently learned that that puts me in the washroom. I don't want to be there. And then when they really bug you, be like, you want a girl to be in the washroom all night? So that is the single best thing you can say that will stop anybody in their tracks. I promise it works. No more feeling awkward at the dinner table. Just, no thanks, girl. That really upsets my stomach. I get sick. I go to the washroom. All the stuff they don't want to hear, because no one is going to want details on that. That I promise. Okay, I hope that has been useful to you guys. If you need